Hello there. Welcome to our series on economic insights. My name is Audrey Whittington, and I am here with Danielle Hale, our chief economist at Realtor.com. And today we're going to talk about the jobs report. I have a feeling this is a biggie, right? This is one we really are watching to gauge where the economy is going. So can you explain what it is?
Yeah, so you called it the jobs report, which is what everyone affectionately refers to it as. Officially, it's titled the Employment Situation Summary, and it comes out every month. It's one of the key indicators for how the economy is doing because jobs are so fundamental to the overall health of the economy.
Great. And so how are we measuring it? What goes into the jobs report?
So the key indicators that we look for, it's got lots of metrics, but the key ones we look for are the unemployment rate and the number of payroll jobs added. And I'll go ahead and add in the change in incomes over time because that's what it tracks as well.
Oh, great. Okay, so who is a job? How do you count this indices?
Yeah, so they do two different surveys. One is a survey of households, and so they're asking people about their experience in the labor market, whether they're looking for a job, whether they have a job, or whether they're just enjoying their retirement out of the labor force altogether. They also do a survey of firms, so they're asking how many people were on payrolls, and they're asking about changes in incomes over time. So there's two different sources, so you can get a more complete picture of the economy. Something that's interesting, and the reason you need these two different sources, is that if households were to, say, have more than one job, you'd count two jobs in the payroll survey, but it's only one working person in the household survey. By contrast, if someone has a job, say, driving as part of the gig economy, they're not going to be picked up on payrolls because they're not on anyone's payroll. So both surveys are necessary to get a complete picture of what's going on.
I see. And is it seasonal at all? Are we looking at seasonality, or is it adjusted for seasonality?
It is adjusted for seasonality. So there are seasonal patterns. We see, teachers, take the summers off, and students are looking for work in the summer. So there are some seasonal patterns, but the numbers are adjusted for that. So when you see the headline numbers, you're reading about it in the papers, it should be adjusted and you don't have to worry about whether or not it's summer or winter.
Great, gotcha. That's helpful. And so what organization is putting this together? Who's responsible for this? Is it a government agency or a private agency?
So it is a government agency. It's put together by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. They're part of the Census Bureau, and they basically make these trends available every month. It's the first Friday of the month, so it's something for economists to look forward to kick off the weekend.
Ah, very nice. So in terms of the jobs report, where are we today? Are we in a good place today with jobs? The unemployment rate, how are we doing?
Yeah, absolutely. So the unemployment rate right now is right around 4%. It's been that way for the past few months, so it's been a very strong labor market. For historical context, 4% is very low. It's the lowest since the late 1960s.
Wow.
But if we go back even further, the unemployment rate back in the 50s was at one point as low as 2.5%. Now on the other extreme, in the Great Recession, we hit unemployment as high as 10%. And back in the early 1980s, I think the record high was 10.8%. So roughly 4 to 10% is a pretty big range for the unemployment rate, and right now we're on the low end of that.
Great. And if generally people are employed, they're spending, right? So it's certainly, explain how it would affect the rest of the economy, other economic indicators.
Yeah, so for housing specifically, if people, we're interested in whether people are going to be out there buying homes, they're only going to do that if they've got a job, because people, finance a home over the course of 30 years. They want to know that they've got a good job today and that it's going to be there for them in the foreseeable future so they can continue to make those mortgage payments. So the jobs report is a great indicator of how many people have jobs and are out there working and are likely to go out and buy things such as homes, but also cars and other things to go in those homes.
So the jobs report is definitely one of the ones that you look for. How often did you say it comes out?
It comes out every month, and it's typically the first Friday of every month.
First Friday. So would we look for the market to be strongly affected by the jobs report, even though there might be sort of small variations? And does it affect things like interest rates or other indices?
It can be. So interest rates in general are affected by a strong economy, and so the stronger the labor market looks, the higher interest rates can go, because it's a sign that that things are doing really well in the market. And yeah, it has importance across the economy. So financial analysts, stock market analysts, everyone pays attention to it. It also comes out, as I mentioned, typically the first Friday of every month. So it's one of the earliest indicators as far as recent data on what's going on in the economy. And it's tracked every month, unlike some indexes that are tracked just quarterly.
Gotcha. Well, that's really interesting. I will definitely be looking for the jobs report. So thank you all for joining us. Thank you for joining our series on Economic Insights with Danielle Hale, our Chief Economist. And we hope you'll tune into some of our other episodes.